You are listening to chartingwealth.com for Wednesday, the 17th of August, 2016. This is our 10-minute daily chart review. And folks, we are working hard to keep it at 10 minutes because that's all we ask a day. Those of you who have your daily market worksheets, pull those out and let's start filling them out. If you don't have one, you need to go to the website, chartingwealth.com, sign up for our newsletter, and you will get with that how to read a stock chart video. Listen to that. It tells you what we do. We do stuff that is simple but effective. It has to work. Okay? Next, you need to get the charting layout. We give you instructions on how to do that if you sign up for the newsletter. And you will get our daily worksheet. You'll get the PDF file, the link to that. You can print that out, fill it out every day as you listen to the program. So you get to fill it out, use that muscle memory, sit there, think about what we're talking about, the most effective way to actually take notes. You're active, you're not just passive, and then you get to start figuring out how the world really works. These charts really work. Those of you who've been following it, particularly for the last few weeks, have watched the Qs be a super accurate chart that you've done very, very well using that as your trading platform for what? Well, not for real money, for virtual trades. We're not a stock calling service. We always give that caveat. We're not telling you what to do with your money. We want you to first practice with virtual trading. Then once you realize, hey, this is working, I've developed my own system, used a lot of what I've learned, some other stuff. Everybody has their own way. Develop your own way based upon the time frames and periods you're interested in, whether it's using the big weekly chart, whether it's using the standard 2-day chart and the 4-day. Figure out what works for you. When you get good at it, then you can make your own money. Then you can really make your own decisions and do what you want. It's your money. Okay, now let's jump in. What do we see going on? Well, we have 4 candles, 4 2-day candles on the big chart. That is the 2-day chart on IYY, which is a total market index fund. It tracks all the stocks in the market. It's been going up for the last 4 2-day candles. That's 8 days. Now, over the course of Tuesday, the market was down 0.62%. That's the reason we have a wick above the green box. That wick is where the market had been and came down, but we still have a green up candle. We're getting close to a crossover going down. Pay attention to that. Derivative oscillator still in the positive, so we still have up movement. If you've already entered into a trade in the total market, get ready to continue watching it to possibly get out unless you've already made your money and gotten out. But pay attention. It looks like it's getting closer and closer every day to crossover going down. Now, it could bounce off that and continue moving up. One never knows. But when we look back at our 2-day chart, what do you see when you look back at the 2-day chart? But for some time around September and October of last year, it's been a pretty good chart. It crosses over going down, goes down for a long time. Crosses over going up, goes up for a long time. Crosses over going down, goes down for a while. Again, we'll have time periods, particularly in the summer, where you can have some herky-jerky movement, but really, it's been a pretty decent chart. It's up, it's down. That's what we like to see. We like to see clean, flowing movement. Again, remember, market crashes have occurred in the month of October as we start moving into the fall-winter trading zone. Just pay attention. The market is going to start picking up more volume, most likely, in the next few weeks. So watch that. Now let's look at the 2-day chart. I know we are burning up our time. I'm down to 5 minutes now. I'm going to keep my promise. What do we see going on the 2-day chart? The 4-hour chart. We see there is now a crossover going down on that chart. Derivative oscillator is about to flip over to the MACD already has. We have still movement above the 2-day trend line, but strong down movement throughout the course of the day. Pay attention to that. We're getting long in the tooth for this up movement. Can it continue to move? Of course it can. Will it? Don't know. We look at the S&P 500, looks very similar to the total market, getting close to a crossover, but hasn't happened yet, going down. 4 2-day candles, 8 days of up movement overall. We look at the 4-hour chart. What do we see? It too crossed over, still above, barely above the 2-day trend line. So pay attention to that. If you were in an S&P trade, you may be looking to get out of it at this point. Again, we don't have anything but a crossover on the short chart, so pay attention. Maybe it'll bump back off that 2-day trend line. If it penetrates it, be concerned. Be concerned at this late a date. Continue to watch. Remember what happens on Wednesday? What happens on Wednesday? Those who've been listening to the weekly review and forecast. Oh, there's something going on. Is there? Is there something going on this week with the Fed? I'm trying to recall myself. Pay attention. It's there on the charts, and you'll see it reflected on the charts. It's actually there on the weekly review and forecast. Now, let's check out what's going on the 2-day chart on the Qs. That is QQQ, the NASDAQ 100. We're going to actually redraw our 2-day trend line. We still have movement above that. It is getting long in the tooth also, but not nearly as short as the other two charts. The NASDAQ 100 has had a nice run up. My word, since it started producing green candles, actually on the 29th of June, it has rocketed up. We crossed over on the 11th of June, and we've continued to see it build. Multiple candles, nice trend line moving up. Still in the positive, although we do see the MACD getting closer to the signal line, and we do see the derivative oscillator losing speed. If we take a glance at the 4-hour chart, what do we see? We again see it's been crossed over going down since the 10th of August, and it accelerated down throughout the course of the day. So those of you who've been in a trade and have made good money, again, you may already be out now. You may have sold some of your position. Be careful. Don't lose everything that you have gained. Again, still above the 2-day trend line, but just be careful. You don't want to lose any of those up gains. At the same time, you don't want to get out too early, so be watchful. Set your email alerts if you need to do that. Okay, now we're going to go back to the 2-day chart, and we're going to finally go to gold. Gold was actually up for the day. Gold was up 0.49%, still in a confirmed down move on the 2-day chart, and the derivative oscillator accelerated as the MACD and the signal line diverged, that is, moved apart. If we look at the 4-hour chart, what do we see? 4-hour chart's getting closer to crossing over, hasn't quite done that yet. It's actually blown through the 2-day trend line, and again, we keep seeing this kind of up movement. Hopefully, we'll see this 4-hour chart work again. Remember, we were using it as our trading chart. When it crossed, we wanted to jump in. Hasn't done that yet, so continue to watch. Folks, that is where we wrapped up the day on Tuesday as we go into Wednesday, the 17th of August. Please continue to follow everything with us. We appreciate you being with us every day. We're down still to about a minute, so I'm very happy with the way that I've tried to keep my promise over these last few days. And again, if you want to know more about us, please go to chartingwealth.com. Sign up for our podcast. We would love to have you do that. And again, if you have questions, problems, concerns, you can write us right from the site. We like to hear that. We also would appreciate you giving us a 5-star rating at iTunes, subscribing to the podcast, saying something nice about us. And we also appreciate you subscribing to the YouTube channel. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, hardcore subscribers, guess what you're going to get? Proprietary broadcasts. That'll be your reward. Thank you so much for being with us. We always appreciate you. Thank you. When you have problems, questions, concerns, all you have to do is write us. Let us hear from you. Post on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Let us hear from you. God bless from chartingwealth.com.